Hezekiah had been a good and faithful king to the people of Judah. In the early years of his reign, he tore down the evil places of worship and removed all the idols that the people of Judah worshipped. He also reopened the doors of the temple of God and brought the priests back to minister. As time went on, through his strong faith and belief in God, he was even able to keep his people from being taken into captivity by the powerful Assyrian king Sennacherib. But one day, King Hezekiah became very sick, to the point of death. Isaiah the prophet came to him and said, "This is what the Lord says, put your house in order, because you are going to die." When King Hezekiah heard this, he was very sad because he still wanted to be king and serve God and his people. So he turned his heart toward God and prayed, "O Lord, please remember me, how I have faithfully served you with my whole heart and have always done what is good in your eyes." Then he wept bitterly. Before the prophet Isaiah had even left the palace, the word of the Lord came to Isaiah and said, "Go back to Hezekiah and tell him this, I have heard your prayer and seen your tears, and I will heal you. In 3 days you will go to the temple of the Lord, and I will add 15 years to your life." When Hezekiah heard this, he said, "What will be the sign that God will heal me?" So Isaiah asked Hezekiah, "Would you like for the shadow to go forward or backward 10 steps? Hezekiah answered, "The shadow always goes forward, so it would be a sign from God if it went backward 10 steps. Then I know God will heal me." The prophet Isaiah prayed to the Lord, and the shadow on the stairway went backward 10 steps that day, and Hezekiah was healed. One day, a son of the king of Babylon and his officials paid a visit to King Hezekiah. Hezekiah was very proud of all the wealth and cities in his storehouses of the palace. He took them in from Babylon into every part of his palace, where they saw large amounts of silver and gold, spices and oils, and rooms filled with weapons for battle. When Isaiah the prophet heard of the visit from the men of Babylon, he went to Hezekiah and asked, "What did these men see in your palace?" Hezekiah proudly said, "They saw everything in my palace. In fact, there was not one thing among my treasures they did not see." This did not make Isaiah happy, and he replied, "Hear the word of the Lord. The time will come when all the treasures of your palace and all that has been stored within it will be taken and carried off to Babylon. And some of your own sons, who will be born to you, will be taken captive and made to serve in the palace of the king in Babylon." Sadly, King Hezekiah did not seem worried about the future, for he said, "The word of the Lord you have spoken is good. All this evil you have spoken of will be in the future, but I will still have my peace and security in my lifetime." King Hezekiah was right. He finished his reign in peace and security until his death. Unfortunately, the prophecy from Isaiah did eventually come to pass. Babylon attacked and seized all of Judah. Hezekiah's sons and their families were carried into captivity to Babylon.